Good afternoon. My name's Kim Feiner, and I am running for Florida House Legislative District 81. Today, I want to talk a little bit about vaccines and the measles virus. In 2024, approximately 200 children or so were diagnosed with measles. Now, most of those children had what we call imported disease. That is, they were probably infected in another country and then came into the United States and then were diagnosed. In 2025, the number of measles cases in the United States went up above 2,000. So a 10 times increase in disease. And in that particular case, most of those diseases actually arose here in the United States, and most of them were in unvaccinated children. Now in 2026, in just 2 months, we have over 1,300 cases of measles in the United States, again, in unvaccinated children, and diseases that arose right here, many of them in the state of Florida. Now, we've been vaccinated against measles since 1963, so we have vaccinated hundreds of millions of children. We've generated data that says this vaccine has a great safety profile. Sure, on occasion, there are mild reactions, but usually they are just that. Those are mild reactions, much milder than getting the disease measles. Now, some of you may think, what's the big deal? Measles, you just get a little rash, maybe you have a little fever. Well, okay, that is true for some children, but for others, the measles virus can impact neurological systems. The measles virus can impact your hearing, can impact your lungs, can impact your cardiovascular system. There is a particular condition that arises a few years down the road after having measles called subsclerosing panencephalitis. And in that particular case, that syndrome can kill you, and most often does. One of the most important things regarding having a measles infection is that measles virus can eliminate immune memory. And what that means is that after having measles, you can be much more susceptible to other infectious agents because of what the measles virus has done to your immune system. Now, right now in the state of Florida, a piece of legislation has been introduced called the Medical Freedom Act, which I think is a bit of an oxymoron. But the bottom line is that gives parents the right to opt out of required vaccines. Now, you may think, okay, this is great. I'm only thinking about my child. But if you are in a community, so if your children go to public school, charter school, they're in the Girl Scouts, they play soccer, etc. If those children are interacting with the community, then not only should they be protected, but their community members should be protected as well. Especially those children that have chronic diseases like childhood cancers, leukemias, lung disease, cardiovascular disease, etc. You need to protect all of the children in your community. That's what public health is all about. So visit your pediatrician. If you cannot afford to take your children to the pediatrician, go to a public health clinic. Talk to someone who knows vaccines, who knows viruses, who has been in practice long enough such that they've experienced not only diagnosing of the disease, but they've seen how the vaccine can protect a population of children. Take your advice from them. Hopefully, you will decide to vaccinate. The American Academy of Pediatrics says vaccinate. The American Medical Association says vaccinate. So these are groups of doctors that have experience, that know human health, and they're advising you to vaccinate. Hopefully you'll make the right decision not only for your family, but the community you live in as well. Until next time, let's move Florida forward together.